Yo, 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 what's going on, folks? 86 Boxing here. Timothy Hill Show. You know, we're holding it down. Collaborate. Skywalker Boxing. He's not in here, though. But want to shout out to everybody in here right now. Shout out to my man Poppy Chun Yayo, a.k.a. Omega Crystals.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My man Clubber D in the building, holding
That's
it
right.
down.
That's right.
Let's go. And then, of course, we got a special guest, none other than the Fly himself, Jeffrey Yu, holding it down. He's got the fight here coming up August 3rd at the Entertainment and Sports Arena in Washington, D.C. So if you're in the area, you better come through ASAP. Go get the tickets right now. They're on sale. But Jeffrey, man, happy to have you in here. What's good with your buddy?
Man, good to be here, man. Good to be here. The easiest part's done. You know, I'm waiting down on training, so now I'm just chilling, doing fun things like this, man. Happy to be here.
All right, good stuff. So how's weight looking? You feeling good?
Oh, weight's looking good. Weight's looking good. At this point, we got it down to a science. If you asked me, I don't know, 3 fights ago, I would have been bullshitting you. I swear to God, I would have been giving you some sort of answer, and then in the meantime, just like eating like a single grain of rice and just trying to survive. But now we got it down to a science, and yeah, it's looking good.
All right, that's good stuff. Hey, Jeffrey, don't let it fool you, folks. He got his stuff together 100% right here. We appreciate him. Jeffrey comes in. He's 4-1, 4 KOs at 100% knockout ratio. So he's getting cats out of there when you step in there with him, and he get that dove. He getting you out of there. All that good stuff right there, man. So yeah, we appreciate you coming on. All that, man. And yeah, we're happy to have you. Of course, we are a group. We get together. We kind of just talk boxing and all the stuff that is happening here in the sport. We appreciated this opportunity. I see you're fighting at featherweight. So what is your ideal weight? Featherweight or what's the deal?
Yeah, featherweight. So featherweight's 126 for the uninitiated,
Okay.
and then super feather, or I think it just goes up to super feather, but that's at 130. So yeah, right now I'm making my campaign at 126. But you know, down the line, 130 is easier to make, so we got options.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, man. So I mean, you're about 5'9", right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Holy Nikes,
my
man!
goodness.
Listen, for 126, that's one of those
Yeah.
divisions that got a guy that's a champion that's like 5'2", and they got a guy that's a champion that's like 6'2", right?
And
So,
see, here's what they're missing. They're missing guys who can cut weight like MMA guys, who
right.
can cut the water weight and do it right and still feel healthy for the fight. And that's how you do it.
Oh, so you ready to hop in the mix, huh? So Espinosa, you better just
Yeah, listen, I'll take every advantage I got. Listen, you gotta use whatever you got. So
that's right.
That's
So
what's
you
up.
so you prepare. You're prepared for the people to. Well, I mean, they can't call you a weight bully if we got Espinosa in the division, right?
Right.
So you're covered
fact.
there.
yeah, right.
That's legit right there because that's Spinoza. Yeah, he's up there for sure. And yeah, I think about that. No, hey, it's about how you do it. You know what I'm saying? If you can make the weight, hey, cool. If you can make the weight, do your thing right there. You know, we have situations. Some guys they struggle to make the weight and they come in overweight. You know, that's one thing right there. You know, you can't cut them slack like that. You know what I'm saying? But if you can make the weight, then hey, you got to do what you got to do.
And make the weight right. You know, a lot of people
Right.
they can dehydrate themselves, they can starve themselves, but to make the weight and then be good 24 hours later to fight, that's a whole different thing too.
That's what I was just about to ask about that because you said kind of make the weight like an MMA person, cut it down like that. So I'll say kind of explain that a little bit when you say that, like as far as cutting like an MMA person opposed to boxing.
Yeah, so what I find is that, I mean, even since you're not really supposed to do it in amateurs, but even since amateurs, the boxers don't cut as much water weight, or they don't at least know the regimen to do so. You know, intaking more fluids, getting your body used to getting rid of more, um, cutting certain things out of your diet so your body doesn't hold on to any extra water. Like usually, I used to make the joke when I go to weigh-ins, like I'm there like skeleton, I'm thin, I just sweat a lot. And I'm like dapping up other guys. The other guys are trying to come up to me and say hi and everything. I'm like, man, listen, I'm kind of drained right now. Let's talk after. So I'm like, they still got energy, but I just feel like they don't cut as much. And even in other teams I've talked to, other coaches I've talked to, and try to give them more game and give them more information, help the guys out. It just seems like, they could take a page out of MMA fighters' books, because MMA, it's a lot of wrestlers, and those
Yeah.
guys were
Yeah.
sweating, making weight for years.
They've been
So
doing it
I
since
feel like it's just the
grade school.
knowledge. Yeah. So I think that
People
information
really
just
aren't
passes
aware
through
about.
that.
People aren't aware about drinking
Yeah.
1 or 2 gallons of water a day
Yep.
and just pounding it out. They don't know about that science. That's
Yeah.
something we definitely need to do in the future. We need to have a show with some some bodybuilders to maybe help the casual fans understand what really cutting weight is really about.
Not me.
It's serious.
Not me. Ernest know about that right there, though, for
A
sure.
little bit.
Yeah,
So,
fascinating
so
too.
you,
That's
man,
fascinating.
well, I guess I guess we can start at the beginning, man. What got you into boxing? Did you have an amateur career? Were you an athlete in school or something? You want to elaborate?
Yeah, sure. So how did I get started in boxing? Damn. It was young, because in my high school, we didn't have a lot of people that were into boxing or just into fighting in general. It's hard to find gyms and outlets and whatnot. And I'm on like the suburbs I'm in Northern Virginia, but like outside of
Yeah.
DC, outside of like Alexandria, like just outside. So we didn't have
Representing Woodbridge
easy
right here.
access. Right, exactly. So
Mm-hmm.
we don't always have those easy access to gyms and whatnot. So I think I saw my dad watching a Manny Pacquiao, like a 24/7 clip or something, just on YouTube. I saw that over his shoulder, and then from then, I think I just went down the rabbit hole, because I was watching all the great heavyweights. I was watching Ali Frazier, Foreman, George Chavallo, that era, and just
Okay.
through that, I went all the way down. I started watching the lighter guys, the Four Kings. I started coming up more to the 2000s. I started just going right down the rabbit hole. Then my favorite fighter of all time is Joe Frazier.
Okay.
And he worked
Like it.
so hard, and he was a workhorse on the train, that I was like, I got inspired from him. I was like, why, if he can do that, why can't I? So I just started working out from there, and then fall in love with the sport, and really just learning off of like old school YouTube and teach myself off of old school YouTube until I could find a coach and then start competing. But that was closer to my 20s. That's when I actually started competing. So theoretically late,
wow.
quote unquote.
Yeah. No, that's dope right there. That is pretty dope. Mention Joe Frazier. So you must like the left hook then, because we can throw that
I
thing.
love it. As much as my coach hates the fact that I love to just come in there and brawl, and Bob and we even just stay on the inside. And I love that. That's the most fun, man.
But no, that's what's up right there for real talk. Because we were talking about that. Yeah. Some boxers you had them. They're starting at like dang 5 years old, 5, 6. Or at least they're start putting on a glove, messing around or whatever. You can compete on the amateur side starting at 8. That's when the competition starts. You can get in there and start messing around or whatever. So starting late, you have an uphill battle right there that you have to jump for sure. But what comes down to it, of course, is that mindset, that motivation you have, because we have seen those that have had success, even if they started late.
Yes.
Sergio Martinez, one of my favorite fighters.
Oh yeah,
he started late. He was a cyclist, I believe, and then he picked up boxing, and
Sergio.
I'm still mad at him when he did to Paul Williams, but I love watching him fight. So it can be done.
Williams.
Oh yeah, I think he started at 19. Yeah, Sergio, and we saw what he was able to do in the sport right there.
The Bronze Bomber.
There you go.
Oh yeah, he did. He started.
I did a short about him on a
late.
YouTube short about him. He picked up, and what was crazy about Wilder, he was the only one that medaled that year in the Olympics,
and he got a bronze in the Olympics.
Yep, he's the only one that team to medal. 3 years after he started.
That is true. So props there, right there. So hey, you're not you're not the only one there, right, Jeffrey, for sure.
That's the confidence I get from it. And I mean, I've seen some of those like 8-year-olds, those 9-year-olds, those amateurs now, their skill levels through the roof. And they're only like 10. I don't know how they're doing this. When they get 18, I'm running. I'm packing my bags. I'm done.
Hey, they got this thing in psychology that got this thing called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And they talk about certain age groups, like I believe like ages 6 to 9. Before that stage, you got people that are kind of trying to test the waters and see what they could get away with. But when you start getting like 6 to 9, you start finding out that you absorb information like you're just a sponge. People get into playing piano, and you can become a serious at whatever it is you choose to do around that age. So you're right. But there are pros and cons to it. But those people are also getting punched in the head from an early age. So let me ask you this.
Oh, sorry, not to cut you off. I was also going to say, I think the burnout too. Because I had a period. I mean, I started around like 1920. COVID actually helped me because it gave me a break, and then I continued. That's when I went pro. But I'm thinking, if you're starting at 9, this is all you're doing. Like, you're gonna have burnout at some point, or you might have some other opportunities eventually. You don't know if you want to continue with this. So, yeah, there's pros and cons, definitely.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, and it's kind of based off of me saying what I just said about people learning, because you learned all these different techniques. This footwork is incredible for people who are in the amateurs, right? So now we know that with heavyweights and they start later, people that like to bang it out when they start later, they're if they're in there with an opponent that comes straight at them, it's that's easy money for them because that's what they do. So let me ask, how do you do with boxers, people that like to move around a bit and maybe try to set some things up? Have you been able to figure that out yet?
Yeah, I'd say they're the toughest because you actually have to think a lot. And I've always been sort of shorter reach as well. So I found I can catch boxers because I have good timing and I set up good traps. But I will acknowledge people who move their feet real well, annoying to fight because they're not there. They're not there. It's it's the style. It's what you're supposed to do. Hit and don't get hit.
So what do you do? You got to take those legs away somehow, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's I won't give away all my tricks, but
bang the body.
It's timing.
You bang the body.
It's timing. Timing beats speed.
Yes.
If they're quick, timing beats speed. If you can disrupt timing, I'll say Bruce Lee right behind me. Same thing. If you fight with an unconventional
rhythm, to ask
rhythm,
about that.
Fight offbeat, fight with weird timing, you can throw people off their game and catch them with shots that they weren't expecting. Usually it's a rhythm. It's like a dance, So you're expecting certain things, or when people learn, everybody learns the 1, 2, 3. So you get to realizing, okay, well, that's going to come. I just know how to get away from that all the time. So changing that up, showing a 3 but throwing a 2, throwing 2 3s, like mixing it up like that, and just mixing up timing. That does wonders, man. I love that.
You're absolutely right.
Don't sleep on him. He knows what he's talking about.
He knows his stuff. He knows his stuff. I was going to ask you about the Bruce Lee poster behind you. Besides Fraser and any non-boxing inspirations, well, obviously besides Bruce Lee, that inspire you.
Yeah, outside of like fighters and whatnot, mostly like philosophers and things like Alan Watts. I got really into absurdism and oh man, I forgot the writer. And but looking into it's usually philosophy and looking at different just perspectives and how people are thinking about things and taking in the world. I feel like that whether or not you agree or disagree, you can learn a lot and affects how you then perceive everything. So usually I'm looking at thinkers. I have everyone has been looking at Conor McGregor since the beginning, but I'm not necessarily looking at his fighting. I'm just looking at the spirit or the confidence, or even in different situations. If he's in public, if he's doing a small interview, like how does he react? What are his answers? Breaking people down. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope right there. And the funny thing is, Skywalker had asked how he got the nickname The Fly, and then Gustavo mentioned that his nickname also explains what you guys are asking. So when I first saw The Fly, I was thinking, oh, he fights at flyweight. But now that Gustavo has mentioned that, and I know you don't fight at flyweight, fly on the wall.
Yeah.
Okay. Philosophy.
All plays together. When it comes to fighting, you ever been to a picnic? You got a fly flying around. You can't hit them. They're all knowing they're around you. I try to be just like that too.
Especially if you're eating crabs. I thought it was a Goldblum movie. I thought it was the movie, but I was gonna wait. I was gonna say that question for later.
Hey man, flies got nothing for me, my guy. I eat fast, man. It gets in there, and it's like
Even breaking the crabs
in
down,
there.
the flies. He's like, they don't got me. I'm good.
It's fast.
That's what's up right there. No, salute to Gustavo, your coach right here, Gustavo Entrenado. Hey,
Oh,
appreciate
nice.
you, Gustavo. Real
What's
quick,
going on,
as a
brother?
matter of fact, salute to everyone who dropped in here right now. We got Skywalker Box. He couldn't be with us. Got some work done. We see you out there, Skywalker, Gray Fox, Melissa Ty, Al Rahim, Pro Say Boxing right there. Danger Randy. We got Just Buys up in the building. Salute Buys, my guy right there. Gustavo is mentioned. Quee dropped in. Salute to you, Quee. We're here with Jeffrey Jeffrey the Fly U, and it goes deeper than that right there. So no, that's some good stuff right there, for sure, Jeffrey. As a matter of fact, what gym are you fighting out of?
I find out of Kaizen MMA.
Kaizen, okay.
Kaizen, okay.
Kaizen.
Something told me that might be Kaizen right there. It might be Kaizen. Matter of fact, we're all here in this same area in terms of this DMV area. Yeah, like those two are in Virginia. I'm in DC. I've seen Kaizen holding it down. I went and looked up because something told me, hey, he might be with Kaizen. So I see the coach Gable. Coach Gable, you know Coach Gable, right?
Gustavo.
Oh, that's him right here.
I think that's him right there. Yeah. I think
I officiate on the amateur boxing side. Hey, Gustavo, I see you all the time. I might have seen you. I don't know. It depends on when you started amateur or whatever.
I thought you looked familiar. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I see Team Kaizen is out there. Gustavo right there. I had to look. I literally went to my Instagram right here. I pulled him up because I was like, you know what? I wonder if he's with this guy because I see him all the time at events, holding it down, doing his thing. Salute to you, Coach Gustavo, right there. No, that's big time right there. So these guys put in that work.
Yep.
Yeah, they put in that work right there. So do you do some MMA stuff as well, or have you tapped into that a little bit?
Nah, I don't. I've always said you only have so much space in your brain. And
got you.
I haven't even mastered the fist, so I gotta stick with that.
Okay. You know, can't knock that right there. But no, that's what's up right there. Man, this is crazy. No, appreciate you certainly joining in. Again, we have Jeffrey U in the building and all that stuff. So as far as before you turned pro, what on the amateur side, how many bouts did you end up having?
Yeah, I think my amateur record was around 37-5, 37-4.
Okay. So you got some work in. Okay.
Yeah, I got 2 Virginia, North Carolina Golden Gloves under my belt, and then yeah.
When did you turn pro? What year?
I turned pro right up 2022.
2022. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm thinking I might have seen you at something because I've been officiating since really in ring since 2016, and so yeah, if you ever did a PVA boxing event, and we work with the Virginia group as well, we do all that. So you talk Golden Gloves, all that stuff. And yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Well, while I have you, thank you for everything you do. Thanks to the whole team. Let them all know because I know that USA Boxing, it's a thankless job. I see all y'all doing a lot of work, and sometimes these shows last like 8 hours, man. So
I know sometimes you're there all freaking day, Hey, you know about that as a boxer. Hey, and what I say is you talk about the weight thing on the amateur side, of course. They're still doing the same day weigh-ins right there. So I know that's crazy right there.
Yeah.
That is absolutely crazy. And man, I commend them for that right there. So no, but that's good stuff for sure. Hey, and I'm trying to get Ernest and Dia here getting in that officiating ranks,
Hey,
y'all gonna be up in there.
I'll do it, I'm all in.
I'm all about support, man.
All right, good stuff. So pro since 2022. Okay, yeah, and I see that you I see as I mentioned, all of your wins have been via stoppage right there. What is it? How do you think that works out? Is that timing thing you were talking about that gets you there?
Yeah, I think a lot of it's timing. My 2 stoppages ago, and that one was not timing. That was me getting headbutt and then getting pissed off and just coming forward and rolling.
Okay.
So I'll admit that was not pretty, but I got him out of there.
So let me ask you something, man. We don't, over here we definitely we're unbiased. We love the sport. We care about safety. We do critiques You know what I'm saying? We're not hating on you. We respect all boxers. But let me ask you this, it can't always be all the glitz and glam. What was one of the things that you learned from the one loss that you do have? Did you could you maybe expound on that or elaborate?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So that one was, well, yeah, there's definitely a lot of learning from that one because that one was also my first fight out of the state. I was the
Okay.
away guy out in Texas. Um,
Oh,
Before then, all the fights I had in a couple of exhibitions that don't show up there, they were all hometown, so it was definitely interesting to get that other experience,
mm-hmm.
and get that feeling, and to also understand, when opponents come here, sort of what's going through their mind. Um, in the fight, there was a lot of learning that we've done so far, coming back to here, coming back to my second fight back since that. Um, a lot of not getting too impatient, and I think fighting
Right.
outside of town played into that. You know,
Mhm.
in round one, let's say I didn't touch the opponent, I didn't land cleanly. The anxiety's ramped up because now I'm like I'm away. That looks even worse than anything else. But man, it's just a normal fight. Keep the composure. But I learned a lot in that regard from fighting out of town and how that feeling feels like, how it feels to have another person's crowd being the main thing you hear outside, um, instead of any of your people at all.
Mhm.
Um, and I also learned a lot in terms of handling my team, Team Fly, and the people I had out there, my cornerman, my manager, my coach, and just managing all the rooms and the equipment, and then getting ready for weight cut, just all those little things, and being in the away team. We picked up a lot of good things from there. So I think everything's more streamlined now. It's beautiful.
Great. So I mean, so have you had the same coach this entire time?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay.
Okay,
Yep.
that's good because
Gustavo.
I sometimes wonder because recently I don't want to mention anybody's name, but I've seen guys that are in the corner and their coaches were giving them instructions, and
Mm.
some people receive instructions differently. Athletes have different relationships with their coaches. Sometimes they can say things without saying them,
Yeah.
and I've seen some fighters that kind of maybe argue back a little bit with the corner, and they have different eyes and ears. So how is the working relationship between you and your coach? Do you guys have like some of those things that if he's giving you some instructions, you're able to
Mhm.
take that instructions and execute them?
No, definitely, definitely. Because I think I know his style, and I've seen him demonstrate things enough where if he says something that's like, okay, I can visualize exactly what you're talking about. And honestly, that's why I started with him as a coach to begin with, because
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to find a coach and a way to compete in the amateurs, and every time I would go to a coach, they would try to start me off at square one, learn the jab for a month, learn the cross for a month. I was like, I don't have time for this. I went to a sparring session that my current coach was managing. He gave me some advice in the corner. I came back the next round. It worked immediately, and I was like, "All right, I know this guy knows what he's talking about." So ever since then, it's just I think I had that confidence built literally from the very beginning. So it's just carried on until now.
Hey,
Fantastic.
and
Okay.
I can vouch for Ernest. Real talk, no cap. His coach is good to go. Gustavo, you're good to go. Real talk. I only connected the dots on the name here within like the last month, if that. I would say last several weeks. I only connected the dots on the name, but I've seen him at amateur boxing events working with others at varying points, and I can tell you, Gustavo is good to go. He's one who gives that instruction. You know it when you see it as well, because there's some other coaches that stand out, like Calvin Ford, who does
Mhm.
Tank, who's
The
Tank's
Tanks guy, yeah.
coach and all that stuff. When I see him with amateurs, so Gustavo is one of those that stands out when you see him there in the corner. So I knew him by face, but I just connected the name here recently. You know what I'm saying? So hey, got the 100% nod for me right there. He's legit.
He's legit. He's legit. Honestly, Gustavo is such a good coach. It makes me not want to coach. Like I understand how much these coaches put in, these real coaches put into their fighters and their teams. And man, it's a lot. It's a lot. Coach does not contain what they do. Like that is not a big enough word.
Oh yeah. Some work that goes into it, no doubt about it. There.
Hey, on that philosophy stuff, you know they say if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room, right?
That's a fact.
Yep. Yep,
I
that's
did.
fact.
I did. I had a question. I appreciate you being very open and honest about going out of town and unfortunately took your first loss. But a lot of people wouldn't say anxiety or just having the crowd root against them, just how that experience. They'd be oh no, just a bad day. But I do appreciate that. And if there's one thing you take from that, like what would be if you can go back in time, if you knew Marty McFly and Doc, if you can go back in time, what's just one thing that you would change in that fight?
Just starting off more patient. That was also the first time where we practiced a game plan. We did a game plan throughout the entire training camp. And as soon as the bell rang, that game plan was out the window. That was the first time that's ever happened for me. I was like, what? But changing that because even afterwards, I felt like I didn't. It was my first 6-rounder as well, outside of state against another undefeated guy, and I really didn't feel like I was in a groove until round 3. And when I went out there, if you're fighting out of town, in my mind, when I accepted the fight, it was either knock the guy out or knock him down and be, dominant. You have to at least get some sort of knockdown.
Right.
When the fight ended, I didn't get either one of those. So no matter what the fight looked like, no matter how anyone was to call it, I didn't complete my objective. So already I wasn't even listening to the cards. I was like, all right, I lost.
Gotcha.
I didn't knock him out. I didn't knock him down. I don't even care about it. So even like when people saw the stream or some people in the crowd as well, boxing's subjective. Their opinion was I won. It was a draw, split decision, either way. But it doesn't matter because in my mind, again, it was either knock him out or knock him down. I didn't do either, so I was I was fine with it.
Okay.
No, that's dope
Appreciate the
right
honesty.
there. Yes, sir. And that's what we love right there. And I know Ernest and I we were discussing this some previous discussions that we've had and all that stuff. How some boxers they get caught up in the zero, like I want to add a 0 beside my record. But even though that doesn't necessarily mean that you're in there doing your thing to the degree that some others are who may have a loss or more on their record, and hey, I'm a student of the history of it. I go way back, late 1800s, early 1900s. Those are my eras right there. So a loss didn't mean a damn thing, if you know what I'm saying. And I like the fact that you have that mindset right there because at the end of the day, it's mano a mano, 2 individuals right there in the ring. You might have a loss here on this day, but you don't know what a fighter's going through coming into the ring on that particular day, what they're dealing with right there in that particular time. And hey, it could be different on the next day, but having that right mindset, knowing that this is a fight, these are 2 individuals going at it, and sometimes that happens. I think that is a plus side, as far as a mindset from that standpoint, at least as you're proceeding forward in your career. You know what I'm saying?
Mayweather effect.
Well, boxing, martial arts, all of it. In my mind, it's the quest to remove ego. It's always that's how you improve. If you have no ego, you're not too prideful or anything. That's the only way you keep growing and keep learning. So it's always been that. Now, I will say another thing I learned from after that loss. It does feel sweet to say you're an undefeated fighter. It definitely does feel sweet to say that. So I mean that took a little getting used to, but again, that's just ego. My record is what it is. I'm gonna keep doing great things. So
you're still perfect in a way.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Think about all those non-undefeated fighters: Muhammad Ali, freaking Jack Dempsey, John L. Sullivan, freaking the list goes on. Henry Armstrong, hey, you name it. Just all those fighters who had losses or more on their record. You know what I'm saying? And that lets you know that hey, you're in the right place right there.
That's right.
Fight game.
I got to poke at you since you said you're into philosophy and all that stuff. I'm a thinker myself. I approach things differently than most normal people. I see things from a different perspective. So I speak about, or I ask questions a lot of the times that are related to performance anxiety, right? So, and what I mean by performance anxiety is I mean, you kind of touched on it a little bit. Like, let's say you're heading a card, you're the hometown guy. The guy that's across from you, he's probably maybe C level, B level, and you're A++ guy. The crowd wants you to go out there and get rid of him, right? So I feel like something like that could induce performance anxiety. So this is what I would like to know from you. So since you're into philosophy, have you figured out a way to kind of handle sports psychology on your own through your research in philosophy? Do you kind of marry that together, or do you have an outside source that can help speak to you about, having your mind a certain type of way when it's time to fight?
No, that's definitely a great question. I will say I've got a great support system around me. Not that necessarily I go to a sports psychologist or therapist or anything like that, but I do have people, family, friends that I can talk to. But I will say a lot of it just does come from my own research and working on yourself. I like to have a theme for every fight, not only keep it fun for myself, but for the fans and whatnot. This next one coming up, August 3rd, is I'm calling it the way. Looking at martial arts, looking at a lot of Taoism, and looking at a lot of Bruce Lee. Speaking of, um, and the more I've focused on this theme, the more I've just been listening to the Tao of Bruce Lee and just more of these lessons and these writings and whatnot. And it has honestly affected me. It's made me think about different things. Negative things might happen in your life, but it's not anything to get stuck on them now. It's a lot easier to, see them as just part of the way. Life goes on. There's more to it, and just cope with things like that more. So I feel like the theme does change the mindset. It does help me get my mind right when it comes to fighting and when it comes to life.
Okay.
I like it.
Let me go ahead and get my golden set question I ask every fighter. So again, on our shows and our different platforms that we're on, the Tim and Tim show, this show, Skywalker Boxing, we like to introduce or familiarize new and upcoming fighters or current fighters with the audience, because there's that information is missing. Every network can't cover everybody, so we like to get people familiar with people so that we can grow along with you with your career. So there's three things that me personally, I like to, gives me a reason to be able to gauge a person. So there's belts, there's legacy, and there's money. Could you rank those three things in order of importance for you? There's no wrong answer. By the way, it just helps the audience be able to understand, your perspective and what it is that you're really after in your career.
For sure. Belts, legacy, money. I would go legacy, money, and then belts. I'd rank belts last. I think you can build. I mean, I think there's many examples of it. You got guys like, Arturo Gatti, or fighters, real fighters. Mickey Ward. You got guys that have huge legacies and had a belt. They just had great fights. They just put their performance spoke for itself. I put money next because listen, we're taking damage. We're prize fighters. You got to do it for the biggest prize. Otherwise, what are you doing it for? There's easier ways to enjoy your life and get the competition out and whatnot. And then legacy over everything. Legacy over everything.
Salute to that, real talk. You know what I'm saying? Because from a legacy standpoint, and I'm not just throwing names out there because I talk about the history and all this stuff, but check it out: Sam Langford, Jack Blackburn. The list goes on. You can just name names. These are guys who never got a world title shot that are the greatest fighters that the sport has ever seen right there, so that the belt necessarily doesn't mean that you were that guy. You know what I'm saying? So
did Randy Turp ever get a belt? Or did he
Randy
just beat
Turpin,
Robinson?
he did. He actually got the world middleweight title. He beat Sugar Ray Robinson. So that was his world title right there. Knocked him out. Then he not knocked him out, wanted to be a decision, but then he got knocked out in the rematch right there with Sugar Ray Robinson. So yeah, Randy Turpin, hell of a fighter right there for sure. Hey, he made a way right there. And and the funny thing about that, you brought that up. Since you brought up Randy Turpin, one of the things was he dealt with like some mental things in terms of just outside of the sport in itself right there. And then that made me think like that from fighters. And we don't often get to ask that. I know Ernest is big on this as well, like from the mental health perspective, you know what I'm saying? How do you handle that? Just thinking about it. You are in a combat sport. Of course, you're taking shots, all that good stuff. What do you do to kind of level yourself from a mental health standpoint?
Yeah, I've always viewed the game as a mental game. I grew up on Tyson saying like it's not a tough man's sport, it's a smart man's sport. Tough man get hurt real bad in this sport. And I always went like I always seen this as a mental game of chess because I also visualize it as at a certain point, all us pro athletes, we can get to top physical level. We're all gonna be neck and neck, just monsters athletically. But then at that point, what separates is what you're thinking, your strategy, your mind. So, and I've always tried to approach it from the mental side of things. And again, same thing I talked about earlier with timing and whatnot and being the shorter guy. It's all about setting up traps and being sneaky. You know, you got to make up for the physical. So
what's your reach? What's your arm reach if you don't mind?
arm reach is it's right around 67-inch wingspan or 68.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay,
Man,
dope.
you
That's
got
dope.
it bad.
That's dope.
Yes,
I'm
sir. Yes,
sorry,
sir.
bro. Listen, at 6,
Some
so
T-Rex arms, man. I swear.
yeah,
Yeah.
so you're
Yeah, but you
5'9".
got smaller division, so you're
You know how to get in there. You've been able to find your distance
Yeah.
and timing and all that. So you've been able to find your range, I would say.
Mr. Left Hook over there.
That's why Frazier and all those short guys were such inspirations to me because they just get in. I mean, even in football, I love Barry Sanders because they always short guy, cut angle, find the pocket.
Best vision. He had the best vision.
You got to be the first guy that we've interviewed that I know of that has a negative reach. So if you're 16, you're
Hold on, hey, don't let me. I didn't measure. I'll get back to you. But last time I measured, I thought it was 67.
Yeah, so if you're 69 inches tall, your arm reach should be 69 inches.
Man, I wish.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's just
Certainly.
Because I've seen some dudes that are like 5'4" and they got the arm reach of like a 6-footer. Right, and you like so it's hard to gauge distance with them. They sticking you from the jab from 3 feet away. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
And those real short, stocky guys. You know what? I fought them before, and I love to go to the body and whatnot. But when I'm fighting those short, stocky guys, their arms they cover up their entire body. You got no target.
Yeah.
And then you think, okay, maybe I can hit them in the head. They got no neck. It's just a shell right there.
Like fighting David Tua, you know.
Yeah.
There's nothing there.
No target. You're right.
Eastside Cruz is one of those
Oh
guys.
yeah. He is
Very
another
small torso.
The little joke will be slinging them thing. Look, power generated in there.
You got to risk your life to get to his body.
Got a question for you to fly. 2-part question. One, I kind of know the answer to this, but have you read the book Art of War? And 2, what are some of the things you do that are not related to combat sports that relaxes you, like video games or what I'm saying, long walks in the park? I don't know, feeding ducks. What type of stuff are you into that's we're not training?
Definitely. Yes, I have read The Art of War. I've read that before. Again, that's a classic. That's a classic.
Yeah,
everybody watching, I recommend that.
It is.
And then outside of fighting, honestly, I do a lot of creative things. I try to make digital art. I try to really vocalize and just get thoughts out there and try to work on delivering ideas and just working on that communication. That's really relaxing in itself. Being able to externalize like that. And then also just learning a lot about, or maybe not learning about, but just watching a lot about business. And this could be from anything. This could be from new product launches and how things are rolled out, or the ins and outs of sales and just different little communication tricks, things like that. That's what interests me the most. And my background, I went to college. My background's in marketing. So it's just the creative and the being able to sell, the being able to capture attention. That's what interests me the most. So something
tells me you have a vision board at home.
I should. I got a scattered brain.
Hey, but no, listen, he's got his stuff together. I was telling Ernest this, Dion, that when I hit up Jeffrey hit me with a Google Drive. He had everything I needed right in there. That's the first time I got that right there. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, my man is on it. So no, he knows what he's doing right here. He understands that for sure. Then actually, I pulled up a picture, Jeffrey. I don't know if you can see it, but pulled up that Bruce Lee fit right there. You had visualized channeling Bruce Lee right there. And I said, you know what? Hey, he's gonna be good. He's gonna be good. I can't wait for this right here. Once I saw that, I knew you were legit.
But hey, listen, it keeps it fun. But fighters, we train, and we train some more. So we gotta do something else to keep it fun. Whether it's like you said, like walking the dog or something outside of fighting, or keep it in fighting, but channel the creativity. Express yourself in different ways.
So let's say, okay, so you got a late start, right? So that means that you're probably a little bit older than a little bit older for the record that you have. Are you looking to maybe get in the mix early? Are you trying to like, what's your path to your end goal? Like, what's the means to the end for you?
Yeah, definitely. Getting fights on record right now, and personally, I understand that you can't just chase every challenge. You got to track the challenges too. And we've tried to get some guys who have turned me down before. And okay, I understand. Maybe I don't have a lot of fights on record yet. I don't have this. I don't have that. So we're trying to get my record and my career to a point where then we can start attracting these bigger fights, or at least being more attractive and getting other people to accept. And getting to get those things going. Because again, at some point, I want big challenges, but you can't just wish them and get them. You gotta attract them. It takes two to tango.
So you talk a little trash on.
Oh, we don't have a target right now. Listen, there's one guy with a target on the back of his head right now, and that's Cash Head Gary Hampton. He gave me my first L while I was in Texas.
Oh, you need to get
that back.
Let's see how he does back here. Listen,
let's get that vision board. Let's get that vision board.
Let's get him out here to DC, baby.
Let's get that vision board with darts on it. You know what I'm saying? Every day you throw a dart.
You got it. Let's get him out here to DC. We're gonna start running that up.
I fought him December 15th or 18th last year. Listen, 1 year later, let's see where we stack up.
Yeah.
What have you been doing? Because I've been fighting, I've been winning. So
let him drive in this traffic, okay? Let him drive to DC in the morning from Woodbridge. You know what I'm saying? No HOV.
Yeah, but see, listen, man, he kind of has the upper hand. If he got the victory, he's not just gonna be like, all right, let me go over there and let me go beat him in his backyard.
You might get cocky.
You might. I mean, he would. That's one thing. So I assume that you haven't had any overseas work since you only had your first fight out of state. It'll be even worse over there, man. You going into the lion's den, and you got people calling you all types of weird names, and it don't make you mad.
Weird accents and
understand it, but
weird accents.
You know what I mean? Like you might end up having to go overseas, man, and get so your style, the way that you fight, man. We love it, man. We love the come forwardness, but you're gonna have to bang it out when you go overseas or when you go out of state. Sometimes you got to go in somebody else's backyard and take it from them.
Most definitely. And I will come. When that opportunity presents itself. The mindset is focused on one task, and it's winning that fight.
Good. So you've gone through that part. Okay. Yeah. You have that one loss or whatever. You've gone through that. You can move past that. So now, yes, that forward focus, maintaining that and understanding, okay, yeah, stuff happens, of course, but it's how you approach it when you get in there and do your thing, for sure, and based on what you've been sharing with us, all that good stuff, we can see that you have a passion for it, and hey, that's what I love right there. Someone who's really out to get it.
That's what it is. And listen, I can talk, but until I have the results, until I have that record built up, it's just talk. So I got to prove it first, and then you won't be able to shut me up. That's it.
All right. And have you sparred any notable guys that?
Oh yeah, that was the question that came up too.
Someone did ask that. Yeah.
Gustavo dropped some stuff.
Most recently in my head, Eric Fernandez. From around this DC area. I've sparred Dwayne Holmes.
No Dwayne.
Chris Glenn. I got a couple rounds at Hillcrest with Hillcrest guys. Trey,
Gustavo mentioned Too Sharp in there, so that's what we interviewed.
Too Sharp, legend.
Not Too Sharp.
Legend. Mark Too Sharp. That's a legend.
No, not that one.
Oh, okay. I thought it was those.
This is Too Sharp J right here. Too Sharp J, I should say.
Hey, shout out to Too Sharp J. I thought it was Mark.
Too Sharp J. Yeah. Not the legend Hall of Famer Mark. Too Sharp. Salute to Mark out there. This is another Too Sharp J who we interview the other day right there, Ernest.
Right
So
on.
we got some work in with him.
Okay.
Okay.
I believe ABO champ, one of those regional belt champs. Yeah, multiple times.
Oh yeah, Scarborough mentioned. That's who we're gonna
Yeah.
we're gonna chat with Scarborough tomorrow. As a matter of fact, Frankie Scarborough. So you spar with him too. That's what Gustavo mentioned here. Yeah.
All the top guys I can get around here right now, I'm sparring them. I'd love to spar Hackett. I'm
Oh,
connected with
Jaleel
him.
Hackett.
Okay,
Okay,
Jaleel.
Yeah,
okay.
Oh,
our
Jaleel. Oh,
gyms haven't
wow.
connected enough, but I'd love to come out there, spar some of them. But really,
Jaleel,
anywhere
that's
anywhere I can learn, I want to go out there.
I
Or our
do have a
doors are always
question.
open at Kaizen as well.
I have a question about the sparring because I know your gym, you guys do MMA as well, right? So I know I'm pretty sure you spar probably some MMA guys before. So do you feel a difference when you spar MMA guy opposed to actual pure boxer? Like the pop is
Yeah.
like, what's the? Because I've heard some guys that say that when they fight MMA guys, it's not the pop, they're not turning the wrist. So what have you experienced as far as sparring MMA person? Like, what would you say? What would you take from that?
Yeah, the MMA guys, their ability to accelerate from 0 to 100 is off the charts.
Okay.
But what I've noticed is it's 0 to 100, maybe at most 3 punches. They don't got what gives them problems is the inside work, the inside angles, and just the short combinations on the inside. Because they don't need to spend time there. If you're there, just take them down, just clinch them,
Yeah,
do anything
their
else.
footwork, their leg, their stance, everything's different. So keeping them
Exactly.
stationary in that boxing, it's kind of they're like, fish out of water.
But their ability to be on the outside, coming with 2 shots super quick, that's where the difference is. That's where the difference is.
Yeah, we know there's a guy out there, J.P. Those are their initials. This guy is just beating up on MMA guys.
I don't like it. I love boxing and I love MMA, and I hate the fact that that's happening. And he's picking the correct ones to do
the
that.
name right there, knocking off these MMA guys.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting Mike Perry. Mike Perry's not even a 200-pounder. Like it's.
Right. Dude didn't have his hands up the whole fight, bro.
Can we talk about that real quick?
Nate Diaz was punching like this. He never turned. Like, what is that? Like, what are you punching like this for?
We can talk about it. Let's talk about it there, Jeffrey.
Look, even right before that last fight, that Paul Perry fight, in the locker rooms, in front of the camera, he's shadowboxing so smooth, using head work and head movement, and then as soon as he goes out of the fight, where did that go? Where did that go?
That makes him so questionable, man. I swear, I thought that he had better technique than what he showed when he got in there. I'm like, come on,
I knew
man.
it. I knew my buddy Omar from Ball and Buds. That's the podcast we do. I told him, he was like, "Hey, do you want to do a review of the Jake Paul Perry fight?" I said, "I didn't watch that mess. I knew what was going to happen. I knew." It's kind of like when Tyron Woodley fought Paul. When I saw him, because he had his trainer, and when I saw them hit the pads, I said, "Oh no." I said, "Oh no, it's not gonna. No, it's not gonna be good."
You have your face down with your behind arched. Hey, listen, man. Hey, Perry somehow hit Paul with about 7 left hooks, and every last one of them things was crisp. Like I was like, "Oh, that must have broke his jaw." Oh, he's getting ready to go. He just didn't have nothing else to go with it.
Well, he fights at 170, 185-ish.
Yeah.
170. He's up at 200, and he doesn't have the footwork that Perry. He likes to get hit instead of someone like Anderson Silva when he was younger. He didn't like to get hit, but Perry likes to get hit and then hit back.
He's a barbarian.
Yeah, and Paul came in heavy at 200, then rehydrated to maybe 230. So it is what it is.
That don't excuse him literally dropping his hands and walking for, not cutting off the ring.
Yes,
I saw in that same round where he caught him with a couple hooks. Yeah, all right, he was timing some head movement without his hands up for no reason. But man, that was disappointing. I had a lot of running on Perry. I thought he was going to do a lot better than that.
Hey, Skywalker, that is. I believe it.
Hey,
I believe it.
Yeah, certainly. And I can say, Jeffrey, because you were mentioning it as far as some, at least even on the amateur side, because I've seen, they come, because, we have, urban boxing. There's some guys who do MMA there as well as boxing. And you can see it visually when they're in there on the amateur boxing side as well, as far as the guy who they're more disciplined in MMA and they're working the boxing angle in and all of that stuff. You can see it with the stance and all of that stuff. I will say that.
Yeah. It's like a fluidity. It's
Yep.
There you
not
go.
as
Fluid,
quick.
yeah.
But
not as smooth.
some of them are pretty. Some of them like I said with those spurts. They can have some success in there for sure. But if they go up against a guy who has more experience on the boxing front, then you can certainly tell from there. You can certainly tell.
Mhm.
And I think that's what it comes down to right there for sure. But no, this is great. We had another question there. Jeffrey Skywalker said, "Any fighters from the past you look up to for inspiration? Like, do you watch boxing? Well, you did mention Joe Frazier. I guess we did kind of get that. Joe Frazier, that's one of them right there
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely Frazier. I watched a lot of Chavez Senior.
Okay,
Full
okay.
swing
Not Junior,
movements,
not
like the
Junior.
hard
Yeah.
swing.
I assume not Junior.
Let's not even talk about Junior. Let's not even talk about Junior.
Ooh,
Speaking of boxing MMA, speaking of that, he shouldn't have won
Go
that
ahead and
fight. But
pull up the picture of him on 24/7 in his underwear, just eating cereal. Just
Oh,
put that up there somewhere.
oh,
Je-
Just
Jeff,
not listening to his
Chavez
dad.
Junior. Yeah.
Jeff, I'm gonna call you Jeff, like I know you since you were little. I put it like this. That is the one thing I say because he was late to camp that day, and Freddie Rose pulled up and he's in his drawers eating cereal like 3 hours late. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's up? What do you guys want to do? Like, what are you?
He's right there telling him, all right, like box him out, use these punches, and he's just eating cereal.
This dude.
It was like a mega pause, anyways, just being in your drawers with a bunch of guys around you. But anyways, that's another story.
yeah.
Well, he's a potential future Jake Paul opponent
I
right
know.
there. So look, let's put some respect on his name.
That was a draw
Yeah.
against Uriah Hall. I actually saw that fight. I went and watched it the other day, and I said, "Oh no!" And Uriah Hall, he's an MMA guy, come from UFC.
That's gonna be a world champion under the belt for Jake Paul right there. A former world champion, you can say he beat right there.
He'll get the title that he wants.
That's true.
See Uriah
true.
Hall execute that roundhouse. He'll kick it again. Watch.
Man, something to the afterlife.
So I mean, we cover quite a few things. Let me ask you about your social media presence. I mean, you said that you have this background in marketing. What are you doing for yourself as far as marketing? Are you, do you upload video clips of you training? Do you upload clips of past fights? Where can we go to be able to get more familiar with you aside from the interviews that we're doing right now?
Yeah, right on. The majority of my stuff is going to be on Instagram at JCY that's where I post the majority of my stuff. I got a Facebook there, but that's sort of just a feeder. And then I gotta get my YouTube popping. But again, only so much mind space you got for it. So right now I'm mainly on Instagram, but I'm very active on there. I'm definitely posting a lot of stories, tagging a lot, getting a lot of the message out because especially in a market like that, you see a million different reels a day, you see a million different videos a day. So the key there is you gotta make sure people see your stuff constantly. If you have a fight, I tell younger fighters this: if they got a fight and they're promoting it, you can't just post it once and think everyone cares. Everyone's dropping their phones. They're caring right now. You got to keep it in their mind. You got to keep reminding people. I got people who are on the team. I guess I won't call them out here, but I got people on the team who will ask me when I'm fighting the day before the fight, and I've just been in their face telling them the whole time. So.
Jeffrey, that is just like friends, like Ernest and Josh. They do this podcast. We all like dabble in this stuff. You got your friends that will hit you up. You're like, "Hey, you want to go out tonight, bro? I'm doing an interview. I posted this. Like, what are you talking about?" And I was actually going to ask you, since you got the fly team, you get somebody to kind of be your ears to the streets.
Oh yeah.
Part of that growing experience, part of those that fight record building up is also on the business side. Team growing a little bit, roles and responsibilities in different people.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
There you go.
Now I gotta say this. I gotta say this to you. So we're the majority of us are business owners, and we promote and sponsor fighters from other countries, and we do things that are positive behind the scenes. So can I ask you what your nationality is, and also I don't even know if you know that there's an enormous potential for you to attract sponsors just based off of your nationality, and that you're out here cleaning people up. What do you got lined up, man? I mean, have you received calls for?
You're singing to the choir. You're singing to the choir. No, we're reaching out right now. We've been reaching out I've got a good network of sponsors that are both per fight and a couple of long-term sponsors now. But we're definitely putting the message out there, and I'm trying to be selective on who I reach out to, who I network with, the
Good
organizations
stuff.
that I try to approach, and what I approach them with. Um, because yeah, I mean, again, well, I got the same idea as you. I think there's
Yeah.
a lot that can be built upon, especially now. Lots to be built upon. So
So
I'm
what's
just
so
looking for
what
people to
what
build with it.
nationality?
I'm Taiwanese American.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, now we really got to get into it. I don't. Does anybody else know any Taiwanese boxers?
No, I don't, but I know a Taiwanese
Mm,
actor. Her name is Sherry Hugh.
Bro,
Shout out Sherry. Shout out Sherry. She's in Vancouver right now.
Well,
Yes, go. Let's go,
because
you
baby.
could end up
I
with
think
an
all of them is like
I
entire.
met
the
her in
market is
Canada.
Muay Thai. Muay Thai is the market
Yeah,
over there, so you could
but
be
he
the
could
one.
end up with an
You know,
entire country
yeah,
to
you
get
can.
behind him based off what he's doing.
that's what I'm saying. And around this area, I mean, there's a lot of Asian
Oh
groups.
yeah.
There's a lot of different ways we can get connected with the network. But again,
Annandale.
we're trying. We're trying for sure. Annandale, yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
So are you
Hey,
in
listen,
Vienna?
bro. Hey, man. Whenever you get plugged in, make sure you plug those guys in with us because we have the Filipino market. Thanks to Skywalker and
Nice.
Nonita Donaire and Rachel Donaire and all
Yeah,
of those
right
guys.
on.
We
Amazing.
Oh yeah.
Vince Padas, we sponsor him. So just
It does.
once you get tapped in, man, make sure you plug us in as well because we do lives with covering foreign fighters from the Asian market, and we also help those guys get familiarized over here as well. So if
Yes,
you get
sir.
plugged in,
Right
let us, we plug you in our network, you plug us in yours. It's a mutually
Most
beneficial
definitely.
relationship.
Reciprocal.
Yeah, as all good business should be.
Yeah.
As all good business should be. Everybody benefits, really. So
No, that's dope. That's dope right there. No, appreciate that right there, Jeffrey Skywalker in here saying he sent his regards. We dropped the Instagram at jcy.thefly. The fly
sir.
holding on.
Sir.
Oh, Gustavo mentioned Salvador Sanchez. Hey,
Oh
great
yeah, I
right
love the
there.
classics.
Salvador Sanchez gone too far too soon, but man, just
Yeah.
think about what he could have been had he even competed longer. You know what I'm saying? Man,
Mhm.
you seen him? You watched some Salvador?
Yeah, I watched some Salvador Sanchez. I got some Pino Cuevas as well. Loved his punching power. And
Okay,
then
wait a minute.
Okay.
Yep.
I love body work. I liked the body snatch. Oh man,
Body snatcher Mike McCallum.
Mike
Mike
McCallum.
McCallum. Mike
Okay, okay.
McCallum. Yeah, his
I
That's what
got
Ward
you.
did to Kovalev. You know what I'm saying? Hit the
yeah.
Oh
body.
yeah.
Hit the body. You
Yep.
know.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
find
I
out those
love body
European
work.
fighters, they don't like it to the body.
No, they
Oh
don't.
no.
Mexican
No, they
fighters,
don't.
they don't like it to the body.
Sure don't.
Mhm.
They want to come
We got
forward.
we
Hit
got
them to
the
the body.
blueprint.
Mhm.
We got the blueprint.
Hey, salute to Sarah Clark. She asked, "Do you have any rituals you do before a fight?" Salute, Sarah.
Before in the locker room, I mean, coach is in here. He can tell you. My whole team is way more nervous than I am. I'm
Oh
over
yeah.
there zen, just meditating, just chilling. Sometimes I get music on, sometimes I don't. But it's just calming everything and just being in the moment and just trying to get to that baseline in your mind. That's what I try to do.
Oh,
That's what's
word,
up.
word. And
Yeah.
square. Oh
I don't
yeah.
like to get too superstitious. I don't like when some fighters, they wear one pair of underwear and they think, I gotta wear the same pair of underwear every single fight.
Yeah, football's
That
like that.
almost happened to me. I'm on like my third fight, and I was like, I gotta stop this right here. I'm not letting this become a thing. Get this out
Oh
of
yeah.
here.
Oh yeah. No. That's good stuff right there. No, that's a good question right there. Because some fighters, they have things that they do, and some of them, hey, you can't break that routine. Otherwise,
Mhm.
Mhm.
it throws them completely off or whatnot. So,
Hey,
It's
when
the
you
way.
get with those larger networks, that happens.
oh
I
yeah.
remember you guys, I call it out when we do our live fight commentary. You see like people like Jim Gray, they're in the back of the locker room, like, yeah, man, this guy's knocked out his last 5 opponents. What are you gonna do to neutralize his power? It's like
Mhm.
they're subtly suggesting things or putting them inside of your head prior to the fight. And that's why I talk about the sports psychology and all those things. But it sounds like you have your routine, but I hope that you were prepared for people to throw you off your game because that's part of that comes with it.
That's a great little detail too. When people ask you a question and you gotta you got to face that question. Maybe you didn't even think of that question before, and you got to face that at the moment. Yeah, no, that is a
Like,
big
man, I'm
factor.
over here trying to figure out if I'm gonna slip the jab and come back with the counter. You asking me some? Get out of here, bro. Come holler at me
Of
after.
course, they always ask you about your prediction.
Right.
What's your prediction for the fight?
There's two ways you can think about it. It's only weird when it doesn't work, and it's gonna be what's gonna be. So it's you get that helter skelter type thing,
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. Real quick, but Skywalker, he couldn't be with us, but it's aired on his channel as well. He mentioned his uncle is Bobby Chacon, who fought some wars in the featherweight division back in the 80s. That division was super stacked with killers right there. Yeah. Hey, he was the one who was in some wars for sure right there, Bobby Chacon. So he wanted to mention that. And he asked if you knew of his uncle Bobby Chacon,
Yeah, nah. But he just
Yeah,
told me on
check
the
him out.
game. I'm gonna be going down the YouTube rabbit hole now. Also, I
Okay.
gotta say, I thought
Gadget
for
YouTube.
a while I was top number one in like a quiz up for like boxing trivia, but man, you're naming off fighters and names left and right. It's crazy.
Hey, it's crazy. No, it's understandable, man. It's understandable because there's so many boxers who have blessed us with their presence right there, who carved out their own path in different eras and all that stuff. Man, it's so much to keep up with. I can say that with 100% certainty, and I try to focus on the history. It can be like that for sure. Some of the more stuff like 70s, 80s, yeah, I'm not even really versed in it myself there. So it's cool though.
That's
Trust
impressive.
me.
What we're doing right
not
now
alone.
is what we're doing right now is making history. We're
Yes,
leaving
sir.
we're leaving a digital footprint for people to come back on and be like, oh man, I met this guy. He was 5 fights in when he gave this interview.
There you go.
See where he's at now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I think that speaks volumes right there. That speaks to where things can get for sure. And you know
I
what?
appreciate being part of it. This is my first time doing one of these. And I appreciate Ernest and Joshua inviting me. So I'm happy to just even talk to you. So.
And real talk, Jeffrey, we can talk to you all night because you got it. Yeah, you know about it, man. You got the market.
I love it. Listen, I love barbershop boxing talks. There's nothing more fun.
Hey, we can do it. We can do it.
Hey, I ain't got no hairline, but okay, I'm there. I'm still at the barbershop. I hang out. You know what I'm saying? I get my beard done a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm holding on mine. Holding on to mine.
I'm outnumbered right here. That's why I ain't got no vision board about hairlines. But whatever. I go to Turkey. I get it fixed. Whatever. It is what it is.
Hey, no, that's all good. But yeah, hey. At JCY.thefly right there, and his Instagram is on point. Got some good stuff on there, man.
Right,
Jeffrey, you've been great, man. I'm telling you. I mean, can't even speak volumes to it. It's great talking with you, man, and we hope to be able to chat with you again here sometime in the near future. You know what I'm saying?
Come back and tap in with us after the fight. We're gonna give you the criticism, the straight and the narrow.
Please,
it's all love.
I take it all. There's only one way to grow, and that's to listen around you and keep growing from everything. Everyone's perspective. Perspective is the greatest teacher. So,
no doubt about it. No doubt. So yeah, we got
grounded, man. You seem grounded and very aware of what's going on in the situation. You're like a big head or airheaded situation. You're not even close to that. You're very grounded. So I think you do nothing but great things.
Appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. Certainly, yeah. Hope to certainly catch you. Hey, I plan on being at the fight, rain, sleet, or snow, whatever the situation is, I'm gonna be there. So I hope to catch you. Hey, I'm gonna have this shirt on. I'm gonna wash it. I'm gonna wash it, FYI. But I'm gonna have this same one on because I'm like, hey, marketing right there. You gotta see it right there. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So I hope to catch you there as well, Jeffrey. But no, man, it's been nothing but an absolute pleasure having you in the mix here for sure. And I know you mentioned Instagram, getting the YouTube up. Is your YouTube the same thing at jcy.thefly, or what's your YouTube?
Yep. It should be the exact same thing. Yep.
All right. Word. Folks, go follow that right now. It was dropped in the chat as well. So, man, we appreciate you, Jeffrey, for sure, man. And, hey, we're going to be checking you out there. We're going to be checking you out there. Real talk right there. Channeling Bruce Lee.
Appreciate y'all. Appreciate the time. Thank you, everybody here watching. Thank you all right here hosting. And enjoy the fights, man. Long live boxing.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's get that vision.
We're going to be on there. We're going to be on that. But thank you, man. Have a good night.
Appreciate you, brother.
Y'all.
Yes, sir. And certainly for the rest of you that tuned in and all that stuff, thank you for dropping by as well. We appreciate you. Hey, it all adds to it. You know, we had Jeffrey, great just chatting with him, all that good stuff. We got Poppy Chun Yayo in the building here. Be sure to check him out, folks. We got Clubber D, the Combat G. Hey, Ball and Buds. Ball and Buds. That's right. Check it out on YouTube. Ball and Buds. You know, you want to get some insight, not into just boxing, but you get some MMA stuff, you get some basketball stuff, football stuff, a mix of all the sports, really, right?
Throw it all in. Hey, look, Ball and Buds, or you can catch me and Ball and Buds on Instagram, or myself, my personal page, Dion703. But yeah, you like boxing, MMA, we cover just about everything. So
all right.
I appreciate you guys having me, and you know, hopefully I'm back for more. And Skywalker, I can't wait to meet you, brother. You already, I see you typing in there. I know you're sick. I hear what you're dealing with.
Well, bro.
Oh yeah. He'll be back in the mix. Maybe not as soon as he thought, though. Actually,
Opponent was gonna be a tough one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy right there. But no, thank you everyone for attending. Hey, we're gonna get back with y'all for sure. You're gonna see us back in the mix very, very soon. Sunday or tomorrow, as a matter of fact. Look out for us tomorrow, 6 o'clock. Frankie Scarborough. We're gonna check him out. Hey, it's gonna be a good one as well, though. We appreciate everyone who dropped in. So salute to all of y'all. Gray Fox, Skywalker, and Squat. All of y'all, Ain't Za, whatever. I get your name wrong right there, but you know what it is. Tony, let's go.